Welcome to Lightroom. I've selected 4 pictures for us to work on today. So those are the 4 pictures I've selected. Let's import them. And so I shot those with my phone about a week or 2 ago. They're all very different, so we'll go through different styles. Here's the first one I shot. We'll turn it to black and white. Yeah, the first thing I do is to kind of crop it, reframe it the way I want to. So I crop it the way I want it. I'm gonna keep that black silhouette at the back because I really like it. I've got a nice straight line going from the right side of the frame all the way down to the background of the picture. Happy I click enter, and so that's cropping it. Afterwards I'm going to play with light, so the exposure. Usually I go for something way darker or way brighter. In this case I'm going to go for something way darker and kind of make the subject pop. And it's perfect because she's in bright sunlight. This is the profile correction that I do on every single picture I edit on Lightroom. Usually when I'm using my Canon, it goes automatically. The software kind of recognizes the camera and the lens I'm using, and so it corrects the shape of the picture if you want. It makes it straighter, a bit brighter as well, I noticed. In this case, I shot it with my phone, and I found out that the closest to OnePlus 5T that I own is the Google Pixel 2, so I'm going to select Google Pixel, and there you go, it kind of corrects it. So, a bit darker, nice deep black. I really like contrast in a picture. I guess that's just a style. Doesn't mean it's good or it's bad. That's what I really like. So I'm always pushing the whites and the blacks far out. So I'm happy with that one. I'm gonna move to the second one. So people going to work on a Friday morning, let's say. I'm gonna start by black and white again and reframe it, crop it. So this isn't straight, so I'm gonna that is straight. Enter, and so I'm gonna go for a brighter picture now and make the subjects black way darker. So I'm gonna drop the blacks. So with the clarity thing, I'm never going beyond 25. It's a bit too much. It makes it very kind of unreal. But up until 2025, it just makes it a bit sharper. So again, I'm going to drop the black almost all the way down. White up a bit. I don't want it too much, otherwise it would burn their faces. When I'm happy, I'm going to move forward. Enable the profile correction again, Google. And so when you're shooting with colors, even though you're going to black and white, you can still play with the colors, which is very interesting. Usually when you play with orange, that's the skin tone. So I'm happy with this one. It's pretty straightforward, it's very quick. And I'm not going too far into the details because those are just for the video I make every Sunday. With this one, the subject is pretty dark. Picture isn't good. That's not a really, really good picture at first. But I really like that the subject she's in her little own world. She's in her little bubble. So I do like the scene. I'm gonna straight that up again. Black and white. Push the exposure up to brighten the image, and then drop the blacks. Improve clarity, and from there I could correction, and then now what I want to do is kind of brighten her face up. So you can do that by push the whites. There you go. And I really like that feel of it was snowing, it's nice and white right behind her. Is brighten her face up. So I can zoom in, look what's going on. You can see it's not a sharp image, and so I can use this tool here. I'm gonna select that, and then from there I can kind of push the exposure or play with the contrast, anything I want, but for just a certain area. So what I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna pop the exposure up, Right, that's too much, obviously. I'm gonna put 85. That's good. It's better than before. I'm happy with it. Let's see. Uh, I'm gonna I'm gonna I'm gonna select her jacket just above her face, this part here. I want that a bit darker because that's blown up. That's way too bright. Select this, and I could do literally that for every single part of the picture. You can basically work on different, on the background, on the subject. Right, that's better. I'm happy with that. You see her face, nice and bright. Um, it really feels like a cold afternoon. When I see that picture, I can see some snow. I can kind of see how cold and everything looks, very bright. And then she's nice and dark, but her face still lit up. So I'm happy with it. Let's move on to the next one, picture. So I'm gonna crop it. Here I'm gonna use the rules of third. So I want that point to be on the subject's face or umbrella. I'm happy with the crop here. Turn it to black and white and drop the black, push the white, and I want something brighter to make it feel very cold. And I mean, in this case, the fact that everything is very white makes it almost like it's snowy, and it is, but it pushes the feeling of coldness, and I mean, to me at least. Do the same thing that I've done on the other one, but I want this part under the umbrella to be very, very dark. We can still see his face a bit. If we zoom in, we can kind of see what's going on. So I want to make this guy literally in his own little bubble as well. Like, under his umbrella, it's his own little world. He's nice and safe. And so what I'm going to do is completely turn everything black, like pitch black. So we cannot see who he is. We cannot see any details. He's just covered. He's there, and that's pretty good. Now what I can do is brighten his hand, make it pop a bit. Like literally, the only thing we can see is his hand, kind of holding the umbrella. So same thing, but exposure up this time. It's almost like painting. Turn it a bit down. I don't want to make everything obvious. When you look at the picture without seeing what I'm doing, you shouldn't be able to see that I've been, playing with all those things. And I'm pretty happy with that. Turn it down a bit. And now it's literally very mysterious, It's snowing and the subject is, the subject of the picture is there, but you can't see anything about him. It's just looks like a man. He's holding his umbrella and he's going through, the snow. So now I'm gonna export those pictures. So I'm usually choosing, where I want them, and I always make sure to have my watermark. Not that one. So yeah, my watermark at the bottom of my picture. I always have a signature, and I can export them. And that's done. There you have it. Those are the 4 pictures we've edited. Have a look. So that's the man going through the snow. Really, really like this one. Those are the guys, the workers in Calais Wharf, with the lady walking through the snow. And this one is probably one of my favorite I've taken with my phone. The sun was perfect, those beams of light, and that's why I was aiming that. I remember when I started shooting, so I had that in mind. I wanted the sun to hit some windows, and that lady came in walking past, through all those beams, and at the last one I took, like 5 pictures. I really, really like this one. You can see a reflection on the right. Anyway, there you go. I hope you learned a few things, and I'll see you all on Sunday.